right. So Philip say, oh yes, I see. I will try. Share outcome when I have one. Okay, thank you. Waiting for your sharing. All right, so it's up to you because all these are energy. It's how you manage the energy. For example, how you ask the question is also how you manage the energy. It's a form of energy. And you just phrase it to your advantage so that whatever comes back, it becomes crystal clear. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about the outer world. How are they showing up in the outer world? I think I've talked about the language number one, synchronicity, and then language number two, the principle of oneness. Have you all heard of this word oneness? Okay, Chinese is called 天人合一. Okay, 天人合一. Right? So can I ask you one simple question? It may sound funny. It may sound funny to some of you. Now we know there's this 天地. Okay, 天地啊，阴 and 阳嘛，哈，乾卦、坤卦嘛，哈。Now why is it that 古人 mean our ancestor, wise men always tell us 天人合一? Why nobody say 天地人合一? I mean, we just have to align ourselves with the 天 meh? We don't have to align ourselves with 地 meh? Can't be, right? Because I think this diagram here shows that we should be connected to up and down. Right? So my question to you, which to some of you may seem a funny question, how come it's called 天人合一 and not 天地人合一? And when you know this, when you know the answer, you know what is the principle of oneness. Philip said, cause heaven and earth is already one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Here's the answer. Because heaven and earth is already one. Remember, Chinese way of thinking, 一就是二，二就是一. So if we say 天, it already encompasses 地. So why go through the extra length to say 天地? Because 天 is already meaning 乾卦、坤卦 together already. So 一就是二，二就是一. Okay? So 人呢? Because among all the creatures, human is the special breed. That's why there is this special phrase say 天 and 人 must 合一. Okay, then 自天佑志 in Chinese called 自天佑志. Let me write down. It's called 自天佑志. 自天佑志 means the earlier phrase is called 天人合一，然后自天佑志了。What it means here is that if you can align yourself into oneness with the 乾卦、坤卦, that means the 天 and the 地, then you are actually 自天 means you are one with the nature, one with the universe, and therefore once you're one with the universe, 天 will 保佑你. This 佑 is 保佑啦，天 will 保佑你 means you are blessed 咯. In the way you are blessed lah. Okay, and once you are blessed means, that means you are fully protected. Okay, you are fully protected by the 天 and by the 地. So when things is about to go wrong, they will jump right in to send you messages, and sometimes very abrupt and painful messages. Okay, so we must always have faith that universe is always looking out for you. Okay. Okay, 效法自然了哈 so 自天佑志吉无不利 see 效法自然 means if you can emulate nature means 天人合一啦 so 自天佑志吉无不利 that means there's nothing to fear already. Okay, so there's some phrases, Western phrases say as above, so below. What it means here, how to be 天人合一 basically is how nature behave, you behave, and you will be all right. 吉无不利. So how universe behave, how we know? Okay, how we know? How universe behave? Can I ask you this question? Can you type in one-liner? Just one-liner, whatever that you can come to your mind. How nature behave? Can you type in one-liner? Let's see what's your understanding of how nature behave or how universe behave. What's your understanding? Now, I Ching, very, very good, very smart. Okay, most probably would they I Ching know that we don't know how to 天人合一, right? So add on this phrase here. Add on this phrase here. 与天地合其德. Okay, this 德 this 道德的德 Last time remember I mentioned If this principle is being applied universally in the universe level, is called Tao. Okay, but it's applied to human living, how we should live our life is called De. Combined is called Tao De. So that means we must live virtually. Okay, not virtual but virtually. That's number one. Number two, 以日月合其明. Okay, 日月合其明 means means that 日 means the sun and the moon lah. So how when the sun come out, then we come out lah. When the moon come out, then we go and sleep lah. You get what I mean? So in the day, how do we behave? 与日月合其明. Okay, usually day by day, how do we behave? 与天地合其德, that means the virtue. Okay, then 4 seasons in the year, how do we behave? 与四时合其序. This is how we 效法自然. So for example, if let's say winter time, the energy of winter time. Remember, we talked about the 5 behavioral states of nature, and winter is one of the behavioral states. Can you tell me what is the behavioral state of nature during winter? Type in the chat box. What is the behavioral states you think of nature during winter? Hibernate. Thank you. Hibernate. So the whole nature, whole universe hibernate during winter time. So this is the energy. This is the behavioral energy. Right? So human, in order to 效法自然 means during winter time, we should also so-called hibernate. You see, all other creatures, animals, all hibernate during winter. Only human, because we have free will, we chose not to hibernate in winter. Okay, so at least we must tone down our exhaustion of yang energy as much as we can. Tone down. I mean, restrict the exhaustion of yang energy. So during hibernation, the key idea is to preserve your yang energy. Okay, so same thing for us. During winter, we should preserve our energy. And when we preserve our energy, means we should not anyhow let go. Okay, let go. For example, winter time, year end, go and run marathon. Okay, for example, go and run marathon, because we are going to run marathon during winter means you're going all out. No, you are going to exhaust all your yang energy. This is going to spoil your inner world energy, especially when we talk about subtle energy. This is going to spoil your inner world energy, and when that one is spoiled, it will break up. Okay, it will break up level by level. Break up level by level, and when the lowest level is being break, that is where you feel fear, you feel insecure, and then 小人 come in, all blah 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 blah, all these things, all the lousy experience. This is how, if you don't preserve your energy in the right way, this is how it's going to affect you in many levels in the outside world. Okay, so this is what it means by 与四时合其序. When it's winter time, you hibernate, nature hibernate, you also hibernate lah. So therefore, during year end, you find that my number of classes dwindle down also. That means perhaps maybe December, no class at all. November, maybe only 1 class, something like that, because I also want to take slow. And when winter time, remember just now we talk about winter time, what do you do during the winter time? Is you plan for the next year. So November, December is a time where I will do some planning for the next year. And that's where I find the seeds to plant during spring. You get my point? When spring come, okay, the new year come, I will go all out to do what I can to nurture the seed that I plant, and hopefully it can sprout. So did you do that? If you're not, starting this year, can you start doing that? Do that 1 degree shift. This is how you work your inner world out in the right manner. Okay, so that's how we talk about 同气相求, same frequency will attract, similar frequency will attract each other. So therefore, we talk about frequency. Now, since all matter exhibit frequencies, we can take readings from everything surrounding our living environment and within our living environment. Okay, so frequency do not act independently. Okay, frequency do not act independently, and they affect one another. Okay, so once we understand what frequency are, we know how to identify them in any place. and we can assess the impact of the frequency also, whether it is helping you or blocking you or restricting you. We can read that already. So the thing here is how they affect one another. Just very important because they don't operate single track. That means they always connected to each other in many ways. So it's like a spider web like that. So therefore, if you pull, in Chinese, there's this 牵一发动全身. It means if you pull one strand of hair, it's going to affect the whole body. Same thing like Russia, Ukraine. This is their war, but it affects the whole world. This is called 牵一发动全身, whole world get affected. Right? So we want to be mindful of this spider web effect. So up to now, I think there's no technical or scientific way to go and measure this kind of vibrational energy. Not that frequency. Frequency, yes, there's a way to measure, in terms of hertz. But then the energy, there's no way to measure. But then I Ching has, okay, which is pretty cool, right? So modern science does not have the necessary mean to identify and classify the frequency of the various methods. So for example, talk about TV. What's the energy, right? Layman can't tell. For example, elephant figurine. What's the energy? You can't tell. Okay, so but at least eating there is a way for us to tell, oh, TV is what energy, elephant is what energy. Basically, we just have to do some profiling lah. Okay, so later on, before we end today's lesson, we will learn the profiling. Now, for those who have learned prediction and feng shui before, this can be a very a refresher for you, a revision for you. So once you can tell that, you can profile things into their basic energies, and you know how this energy is going to affect you. I mean, straight away you can tell already how your inner world shows up on the outer world, and how our two worlds match up with the universe. Just like this, that love scam case, the inner world and the outer world match up. Okay. And then why is it that we say that the rice cooker above the stove is no good? This is how we do profiling, and then we read the energy of the profiling, and then where is it showing up in terms of the spacing, the sector, which is in the south, which relate to relationship or finding life partners, things like that. So to do that, we need to go and learn, pick up this universal profiling system, or in short called the earlier heaven 8 trigram. So for those who are very conversant with this profiling system, bear with me, take it as a revision. So, but do participate so a whole class can learn, because you have your vast experience and your practice. You may have more things to share. Okay, universal profiling system. I Ching has a system that's able to incorporate the yin and yang and the 5 elements, and then a system used to read the energy of any individual units. So this is also a system used to profile individual units into 8 basic energy category. What are the 8 basic energy categories? This is the one. Let me see here. This is the one. Okay, 8 symbols here. Let me read out the name. Number 1 is 乾卦. Number 2 is 兑卦. Number 3 is 离卦. Number 4 is 震卦. Number 5 巽卦. Number 6 坎卦. Number 7 艮卦. Number 9 坤卦. So these are the 8 trigram. Just now we talk about 有一就是二，有二就是三，有三就是万物一生二，二生三，三生万物How it comes about Singularity, you can call one. The moment you have one, you know binary comes out. That means 一生二yin and yang means 2, right? So in I Ching, there is a intermediary level before it reaches 3. But in Tao Te Ching, it shortened the whole thing. It says 一生二，二生三，三生万物. This is in Tao Te Ching, because Tao Te Ching compress one level. But in I Ching, there's actually an intermediary level, which in my opinion is very important, because a lot of things can be used with this intermediary level, which is called the 四象. Okay, so 太极生两仪 is here. So 1 become 2, and then 2 actually become 4 first. Okay, 2 become 4. So 这个 4 就是四项哦 ，1 2 3 4四项，好，四项。And then from the 4, it becomes the 8 trigram, 好，四升八。Okay, 四升八 then become 8 trigram. But why is it called 一升二，二升三呢？ Because this trigram is made up of 3 line, 1 2 3. That's why it's called 一升二，二升三。Then from 三 or this 八卦 you know, it can become or transform into everything, anything in this universe. So 生万物，八卦生万物。好，一升二，二升三，三生万物。So same thing lah. Okay, so here we learn the 8 trigram as the 8 basic energy categories, and we can use these 8 basic categories to profile almost everything that we see in our physical world. Okay, then here, this nothingness here. Okay, nothingness here is the 无之大用. 无之大用. Remember this. If you want the universe, if you want the oyster, all right, if you want the oyster, you have to make use of this. Okay, 无中生有. The 有 is the oyster here, the universe. Okay. Darren say, what the possible way of us 四项 with 易经 example application usage in yes, which I'm going to share with you tomorrow using 四项 left, right, front, and back. 四项 simple, right? Left, right, front, and back. 四项 but very important. And then in my focus workshop, remember focus workshop, we talk about what do you call that? How to focus on what matters. And then the workshop on the list of I can't remember, LOLE workshop, law of least effort workshop. I also use 四项 focus workshop. I also use 四项. Alan say can explain a bit more about nothingness. Nothingness is the mother of everythingness. Pardon my lousy English, but nothingness is the mother of everythingness. Now, when you must have the capacity, okay, the empty space to think of something. To think of something. That's like, for example, I want to produce a workshop. But if my mind now is clouded with a lot of things, a lot of worries, nothing's going to come out from that space because it's crowded. Remember, there's no space. Okay, so therefore, I need to clear away all the monkey mind thing, all the clutter, so that I create space here. Then a new thought every 15 seconds, a new thought will come out. Remember, the nature of mind is clarity. So the moment you press down all the monkey sound, all the noises, then you have the clarity. And then 15 seconds later, one new thought comes out. Perhaps I can run a workshop on focus. Then this focus workshop become a 太极点. Okay, and then the moment this 太极点 comes out, right, I can tell myself, hey, that's binary nature. Is it feasible or is it not feasible? You know, something like that. So if I think that it's not feasible, that means I take the in path, then I will find excuses to convince myself why I should not create this focus workshop. Okay, so all this, whatever follows, is going to be excuses. Let me clear the ink first. Okay, whatever starting from here, why it's not feasible, I'll find all the excuses. Okay, now if I convince myself, say yes, it's doable. Okay, it's doable. Now let's go and find out from the student whether they want it or not. So that's why you see, sometimes is I get the feedback from you all. Okay, I get feedback from you all. So would you like to have this kind of workshop? If you say yes, it reinforces my young energy, this energy here, this path here. Then I will find all ways to get it done. And end of the day, I manifested the focus workshop. So all these things can never happen if I don't have that space. You get my point, Alan? So that is the 无之大用. Okay, thank you. So Darren said, I mean using all the line to work on it for 思想. Yes. In fact, in 归藏义, we can use 思想 and we will use a lot of 思想法 in 归藏义. Okay, 归藏义 can be used for 风水, can be used for prediction. Right? So it is another cousin system of 周易. Okay, let's move in deeper on this one. So this is the 8 trigrams here. Let me repeat again. 乾卦、兑卦、离卦、震卦、巽卦、坎卦、艮卦、坤卦. And because of this development from the earlier slide, this slide here, you see that there is a sequence order. Because of this yin yang, yin yang, yin yang develop, right? There's a sequence order. So this sequence order gives us the number representation. Straight away, the number can be profiled into the respective trigram. So therefore, numbers carries energy. Okay, number carries energy, right? So remember this. So if you see 1 and then this 1 is actually profiled as 乾卦, or then it carries 乾energy, 2 兑卦 energy, 3 离卦 energy, 4 震卦 energy, 5 巽卦, 6 坎卦, 7 艮卦, 8 坤卦. Then 9 will recycle back here as 乾卦. Then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 will be kun kwa, then 17 will recycle back again. So this is how number is being profiled. Okay, then here, this row here is the primary name of the trigram. Below is the secondary name of the trigram. Okay, so when do we use secondary name? When do we use primary name? I'll give you an example. If the trigram is being presented in a 3-line format, we will address them with the primary name. So for example, let me see. Okay. For example, this 3-line. Okay, 3 solid line. We call that as 乾卦. So we use the primary name to address this called 乾卦. But if let's say it's being presented, for example, 6-line format, that means in a 6-line hexagram format, then we'll use the secondary name to address it. For example, 天 and 地, below is 地, then say 天地, then there will be a hexagram name called 天地皮. Okay, so let's learn profiling straight away. Let's zoom in, because this is not the full course on 易经气风水 or full course on 易经 prediction. So I won't be going very deep into this profiling, but just good enough for you to use whatever you need to use, and then we move on with the first scale to fifth. That means the outer world. So let's examine these 2 trigrams first, 乾卦 and 坤卦. Okay, so let's say in terms of family member, 乾卦. Let's talk about 乾卦here. 乾is 3 solid line, means a very extreme yang energy. So in terms of family member, 乾卦can represent father. And then 坤卦, because it's 3 broken line, so 3 very yin line there. So 坤卦is very yin energy. So in terms of family members, it can represent mother. So same thing with organization. Organization, the most yang energy person can be the CEO, right? And then the most yin energy, it could be the employee, okay, or customer. That means the other end of the spectrum. So if let's say in organization, one spectrum is CEO or the bosses, then the other end of the spectrum is the employee or the customer. Okay. And then if you talk about country, 乾卦can mean the prime minister, or the president in the case of US, and then Kun, it can be the citizen. Okay, so it's the extreme end. And in terms of nature, 乾卦 can be the heaven, called 天 嘛, just like in the secondary name is called 天. Kun means the 地. Okay, earth. That's why the secondary name of Kun Kwa is earth. So basically, in this very short moment, we have learned how to profile 乾卦, Kun Kwa. That means we understand this 乾卦, the characteristics. And then when we look at certain context, we say that, okay, based on the context, for example, family members, and 乾卦 being the yang one, which member fit this kind of energy? Then it must be the father, something like this. Okay, so how about other family members? Okay, other family members, then we have to learn a little secret here, little secret formula. The secret formula is called yin shen yang, yang shen yin. Okay, so therefore, if we want to find out the daughter's trigram, we use the yin shen yang, yang shen yin lah. So daughters is yin ma, daughters is yin. So yang shen yin energy. Okay, yang shen yin energy. So that means if you want to derive the daughter's trigram, you must pull out the trigram from the father trigram, the yang trigram. Okay, so to derive the eldest daughter, you just have to change the polarity of the first line. Okay, I put at 1, 2, 3 first. First line means the bottom line. Change the polarity from yang to yin. Okay, so once you change from yang to yin, this one become Xing Gua, which represent the eldest daughter. To get the second daughter, change the second line. Okay, change the second line, and this one you get Li Gua. To get the third daughter or the youngest daughter, change the third line, which is the top line, and you get Dui Gua. That's easy, right? Next, to derive the sun energy means to get the yang trigram, you get it from the yin, because yin, sun, yang. So same thing, to derive the elder son, change the bottom line, 1, 2, 3, change the bottom line, line number 1, from yin to yang, and you get zhen gua. To derive the second son, change the second line from yin to yang, you get kan gua. And to derive the third and the younger son, change the top line, you get geng gua. So there you go. You get the happy family trigram. Father, mother, 3 sons, 3 daughters. Question so far? Okay, so this is family members. But if I may ask you, how about in the organization, the position that you are taking up and the role that you are playing, what is the trigram? What is the trigram? Okay. So for example, let's don't talk about role first. Talk about the title, the position that you are sitting on, that you're having. So we already know that Qian Gua can be called a CEO. Okay, Kun Gua is called the customer. So within the organization, right, you can have department head, you can have section head, you can have all others. So usually in the organization title or position, we use all the male trigram to represent. Why? Because in the feudal era, in the olden China days, only guys can get to come out to work and hold title and position. All female stay at home. So therefore, when we bring along this kind of culture into the present time, we use all the male trigram. So we know that this Zhen Gua is the elder son, Kan Gua is the second son, Geng Gua is the third and younger son, in this order. In this order, from the biggest title to the smallest title. So therefore, you just have to fit in the hierarchy into these 4 trigram, and there you go. You will get your title trigram. I call it the work trigram lah. So that if Qian Gua means a CEO, that means the department head can mean the Zhen Gua. section head will be the kan gua, and all others I take it as a supporting role will be the geng gua. That is if you are looking at an organization as a whole. Okay. Now, if you are going down one level, looking at the department level, then department head become the qian gua. Then the section head become the zhen gua. Then maybe the supervisors become the kan gua, and all others become the geng gua. So based on this, can you type in the chat box what trigram are you holding on right now at work, not at home, but at work? Type in the chat box. If it's your own business, what's the title in your business? Okay, so this universal profiling system or the earlier Heaven 8 trigram can be used to represent many things. So it can be used to represent the organization, okay, organization hierarchy rank, organization functional responsibility, colors, shape, 5 element, and many more. Now, why are we going through this? Is because these will be the things that we use, the tools that we use to assess the outer world that's showing up. So for example, if you're going to take up a role in a manager role in this company, right? And then if you have a small compass with you, when you go for interview, you take a very quick discrete reading and you find that the east sector, because you're a manager role, okay, then you could be 正卦, okay, 正卦. Then you find that the 正卦, wow, the whole stretch of the office, there's a very big piece of mirror. And you know mirror is not good at 正卦. Then you know that if you take on this role and you have that kind of unstable inner world, are you going to have it? Okay, you're going to have it. That means you are attracted to this kind of work environment. Okay, because you know your inner world is like that. Therefore, when you go for job interview, when you go and take reading, you find that your sector, your work sector, will have this kind of lousy energy there. So therefore, if you make the choice to accept that role, then you know you're going in for a big ride. Okay, big roller coaster ride. So again, it's your choice. You have free will. It's your choice whether you want to take up the role. The pay may be good, but the role may suck. So it's a choice. Okay. So Philip say you are Geng Gua. All right, Geng Gua. Okay. Anyone else? You must need to know. So let's say, for example, Philip Geng Gua, then you go into the office, make sure that the Geng Gua sector is good. Darren say, may I say, if now work from home is a trend, we may concurrently the two Gua energy running and cause a crash. I'm father and mother and manager role. My home sitting place is Khan and I'm father. It exhausts me, right, to say that? Yes, Darren, you are correct. If in the home environment, you're going to have two roles. One is your family role. One is your work role. Because you're working from home, you have a work role as well. So for father, who is also a business owner, or who is holding a very high appointment in the company organization, then you know qian gua is the one. Then you should work on the qian gua. Okay, but if you have multiple trigram holding on multiple hats, one is for example a father, and then maybe in the office you are a manager, then you are zhen gua. Then therefore you have to look at the qian gua and the zhen gua. So a lot of time based on your inner world, if let's say as a father you're okay, you feel that you have a blissful family and things like that, but at work it sucks. You find that when you go to the zhen gua and look at it, the zhen gua it's not really that good. In some ways, qian gua is good, but zhen gua is not good. So in some ways, so Darren, I agree with you. This can happen, especially if we are wearing multiple hats. Is that okay, Darren? Okay, so there are 8 trigrams, and this is the table that I compiled. It's not exhaustive. It's not everything. It's just a table listing out the typical or the usual representation of the 8 trigram in many aspects of life. So let's quickly run through all the 8s one by one. Okay, what do you call that? Let me see. There's some comments here. Let me see. Master, what trigram is legal department? Can be 乾卦. Yes, can be 乾卦. Okay, can be 乾卦. All right, so Darren say, so can I say is spare room allow full make the room for working room to reduce the problem, right? To say that? Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, our current house, HDB lah, condo lah, they are not designed, number one, for COVID. Okay, they are not designed, number one, for COVID. That means isolation. If somebody get COVID, then the rest have to isolate or things like that. It's not designed for that. That's number one. Number two, it's also not designed for work from home. Okay, so therefore, whatever you can do and make use of in your house, make full use. For example, if there's an extra room, make full use of extra room as your workplace and do it up nicely. So put partition can. Put partition also can. Mark out, carve out a space as your office space that make good. Okay, so partition can do too. Mark out a space. Oops. Okay, let's go around go through this profiling. 乾卦. Number one, 乾卦. It's three solid line, right? So therefore, it can represent the father, which already mentioned just now. So it's full yang, very extreme yang energy. So in the organization, it can mean the boss, business owner, or the chairman, or the CEO, or the board of directors, and even suppliers can be a 乾卦. Okay, so can anyone tell me why suppliers is also a 乾卦? Philip say yes. In some way, yes. In some way, yes. You look at our economy now. Okay, some at the mercy of the supplier or the vendor. Okay, because now logistic, come to a crunch. A lot of things cannot come in on time or the quantity that we want. So therefore, demand is more than supply. So sometimes it could be the supplier market and supplier can hold us by the throat. So in a way, yes. So supply don't, this is what Philip says, supply don't, supply die. War are lost when supply is dry. Look at Russia troops, now we know. Yes, so supplier can hold us by the throat if they are strong enough. But usually we call that as 乾卦. Why? Because in my opinion, from an organization point of view, this is an organization or a business, okay, or business, not necessarily organization, business. So business means the 太极 point, okay, 太极 point. So therefore, every business being the 太极 point, it has two sides to it. That means 要靠两边吃饭. Every business 要靠两边吃饭. So you look at the color, the face color of two sides. Yin and yang. One is the yang side. One is the yin side. Okay, yang side means the 乾 side. The other side is called the 坤 side. Okay, so 坤 side we already know. 坤 means masses, means customer. We have to look at the customer face to make sure we can survive. Yeah. Okay, 看 customer 脸色啦. And another 脸色 that we need to look at is the supplier. 钱 have to push in all the goods and then we value add it and then sell it to the masses, which is the in portion. Okay, so if 坤 can means the customer, 钱 can means the supplier because they are the two sides, the extreme end of the spectrum. Okay. Right. So, okay, let's move on. So body parts, it can also means the head, the memory, because if it's talking about the boss, the CEO, it means the head, the head. So in terms of body part, it can also mean the head, the control, command. It can also means the lung. It can also means the large intestine and skin. Now, why lung and large intestine? Anybody know? Why lung and large intestine? I leave it as a question. Maybe you can discuss tomorrow if we have time. Okay. But for now, it's lung, large intestine, skin. Okay. And then in terms of color, it can represent white, gold, silver. 钱, it rhymes like money, money, 钱. Okay, so 钱, it means metal, it means gold, it means silver, or it means white. And the shape is round. Okay, round. So, and 5 element is metal. Now, 对卦, the next one, number 2. Okay, 对卦. 对卦, I call it as the smaller metal. Okay, a smaller metal is a metal, but a smaller metal. Why? Because it comes from 乾卦, and a little broken, a little broken on the top here. Therefore, it's called 对卦. So when it's a little bit broken on top, it means there's a hole on top. Anything that's broken is called a 对卦. Anything that is spoiled is called a 对卦, because it's no longer perfect like a round metal. Okay, so in terms of family member, it can represent the third daughter or the youngest daughter. And because the opening is on top, if you relate it like a body system, like there's an opening on top of the body. So it is the mouth. So it can represent the mouth. So it can represent talking, singing, scolding, quarreling, anything to do with the mouth lah. Also, it can be drinking, eating. Also, 吃啊，有喝啦。So you know lah, 吃喝 and 玩乐 is always together one ah. So entertainment, okay, entertainment can be 对卦, and then talking is presentation, and therefore when your entertainment go up, it can also means your expenses go up. Okay, so 对卦 is about the mouth, so it's about communication also, or call center. Okay, so in terms of body part, because it's also a metal energy, so it can relate to memory, lung, large intestine, skin. Then because it's the mouth, it can means the mouth, the teeth, and the throat. Okay, so because it's also metal energy, so it is white, gold, silver, round shape, or broken, and metal energy in terms of the 5 element, right? Okay, next. If you have question, feel free to ask, right? Because this is not the full course on the 易经 Qi Feng Shui and the prediction, so I won't be going very deep in, but just enough for you to know, and then we can move on. Okay, so next one, 离卦. 离卦, family member, second daughter. So 离卦 means fire. Okay, means fire here, fire energy. So fire, behaving like a fire, it means it's always outward and upward expansion or transmission. So it's like showing off lah. When fire strikes, or everybody will just stand in awe of the fire, because it's wow, so therefore anything glamorous one, anything showing off one is a 离卦. So in organization, anything that can show off the business, or shine the business, that is the 离卦 department. So like marketing, advertisement, promotion, all these are 离卦 activities or 离卦 departments. Okay, so finance is also 离卦, trading is also 离卦, contracts are also 离卦. Now when it comes to body parts, it can mean the eyes, the heart, the blood, because all red color, the eyes, the heart, the blood pressure, small intestine, also 离卦. Okay, so in terms of color, red, orange, pink, purple. Shape is a triangle. Waiho asks, is microwave oven considered 离卦? Yes, because it's fire heating up. You use microwave to heat, you use oven to heat it up, so it's a 离卦. So take note in terms of appliances. Take note of the function. The function for the appliances. So for microwave and oven, the purpose is to heat it up. Therefore, it's a fire energy, and it should be profiled under 离卦. TV. Okay, TV is a projection, outward projection. So our projection is also like a fire. It's like our projection, so it's like 离卦. So a projector is also a 离卦because it projects. All right, so always tie back to the characteristics of the trigram and the 5 element energy, and you are on the way to be able to do a very good profiling already. Next, 震卦. Zheng Gua, if you can remember, we talk about Zheng Gua being the Di Chu Hu Zheng. That means anything starts from Zheng. Okay, everything starts from Zheng. Right? So therefore, it can be called the successor. Okay, Zheng means the first son, first son can succeed the family, family business. So it's called the successor. So if let's say you are a business owner and you want to groom the next successor, make sure the Zheng Gua is good. Otherwise, you can't find a successor. Huh? Okay, and it can also mean the head of department, which is the next in line, next in line to the CEO, or it can also mean project team. Why project team? Because Zheng Gua is all about movement. Zheng Gua is more all about movement. It's about the leg, right? So anything to do with the leg, like running, moving, kicking, everything to do with the leg one is always 正卦, and it's about growth. Okay, about the seed and then grow up vertically. So therefore, it can mean project team because project team is to grow. Why do you have project? Is to grow the business. Okay, or business development is also a 正卦. So relating to body parts, it can mean the liver, the gallbladder, tendon, ligaments, and the leg. Color, because it's a wood energy is called green and blue. Okay, it's green and blue. So green and blue can be 正卦, because it's wood energy. And the shape is a line. It's a line shape. Tall, thin, line shape like bamboo like that. Okay, this is the shape of 正卦. So far, any question? We have covered the first 4 of the 8 and the representation of it. Okay, so this is not exhaustive, but at least let you have a good flavor of the characteristics of the 8 trigrams, the first 4, and then what can it represent in our real life. Any question? If you have no questions so far, can you say okay in the chat box? If you are lost, that's that I'm lost. Philip say okay, good. Darren say okay. Alan say okay, good. Okay, good. So let me proceed. Andrew say okay also. Thank you. Okay, the next 5. Next 4. Sorry, next 4. Okay, 巽卦. Now, 巽卦, remember 兑卦 is a smaller version of 乾卦. To me, 巽卦 is the feminine version of 正卦. They are also wood energy. Okay, they are wood energy. So, for example, bamboo is a 正卦because it's the masculine wood energy. Masculine wood energy. You see, bamboo is very tough, very upright, very straight, cannot be bent. Okay, so it's a masculine wood energy. Now, when it comes to feminine wood energy, can you give me one example? If bamboo can be zhen energy, what kind of plants can be a feminine wood energy? What kind of plants can be a feminine wood energy? Anyone? Okay, feminine wood energy in terms of plant can be the cripples. You know cripples? Like money plant, like to creep one, like no backbone one. They always have to rely on something else to grow upward. Those are the feminine one. So it's more ing. So it can't be, like no backbone like that, but it's still able to survive by latching on to somebody else. So this is the feminine wood energy. Yeah. So therefore, it is a feminine role of the wood energy, and it can represent the eldest daughter. So because it's able to creep and spread it out, Xun, feminine wood energy, has this capability to able to spread out. Okay, to be able to spread out. So therefore, in the olden days, not in the olden days, in earlier version of business doing, we have sales team. And the sales team usually have to go all out, send your sales team out to go and knock door by door, to make sales. So therefore, it can represent sales. It can represent sales. Xun Gua can represent sales. right? And then it can also represent communication, okay, communication, telemarketing, or networking, because it's like spread out like a spider web, right? So it's like network. So network is for communication, for telemarketing, and it can also means like a wind, because Xingguo, the secondary name is called wind. Wind means W-I-N-D, wind, feng. So feng is like a qian being chopped at the bottom. Qian being chopped at the bottom. So make the base very unstable. So what is it that, that's very unstable and can float and has no leg, is something like a wind like that. So Xingguo has that wind characteristics. Very feminine portion of, the kind of characteristics, and it just float around, right? And then just penetrate. Whatever can penetrate one, they will penetrate, like a network penetrate. So it has this rule, penetrate kind of characteristics. So therefore, it's like rumors, gossip. It operates like wind like that, like a xingguo like that. So therefore, rumors and gossip, if you allow it to happen, it may affect your reputation. Reputation. So because it's also wood energy, it can also represent liver, gallbladder, tendon, ligaments, xingguo, because opening at the bottom, so it can represent buttock or the womb, uterus, or because it's like a network, so it can mean your blood vessel. Our blood vessel looks like a network, and also nervous system and the hair. Color is green and blue. Line, because of its wood energy, therefore is a line energy. Okay. So, but when you see like cripple kind of shape, it can also be a xingguo. Cripples kind of formation can also be a xingguo. Now, kanguo. Next one, kanguo represent the second sun. Okay, so kanguo, second sun, so that means it's the next in line. Okay, next in line. Yeah. So it can means, for example, your supervisor, or your section head, things like that, or the deputy. And kanguo can represent water. Okay, water. Where is it? Water here. Okay, so and water, we know it represents the mind, the processing power. Okay, processing power. So therefore, anything using your mind, for example, planning, is a kanguo. For example, planners. Okay, planners, consultant, advisor, and logistic. Why logistic? Is because water, ships, container ships is being used for logistic purposes. So therefore, it is kanguo. Research also use a lot of processing power. Okay, so it's data also data. So therefore, it's kanguo. So if let's say your role is to deal with data analyzing, data processing, then you are in the kan role. So remember, in your job, not only you have your title, you also have your role. You may be holding on to a manager title, but if you are in the sales department doing sales, okay, then 训卦 is going to affect you, 正卦 is going to affect you. Remember that. Okay. So if let's say your inner world is telling you, I'm not cut out to be a sales guy. For example, I'm not cut out to be a sales guy. Whoever talk to me will most likely say no to my sales pitch. So if you have this kind of inner world, when you go back to your office, let's say you're doing sales, you find that most of the time, your southeast sector, that means your Xingguo, is in a very bad shape because you can't communicate. That's number one. You can't communicate clearly your sales pitch. Here, wait. Number one here, communication. And then number two, it means your sales also. So most likely it's going to affect your sales pitch and your sales target or your quota, whatever. Okay, so usually it's like that. So remember, you have your title and you have your role that you are playing. So make sure you take note of these two at work. Okay, so kan gua. And then body parts can represent the ear, kidney, the bladder, that area lah. Because it's water, liquid stuff, so can also means your blood pressure. And kan gua, because of the yang, inside the yin means this is the yang qi or the yuan qi or whatever the seed of the future. So it's also representing the womb area. So color can be black or gray. Shape is like the water wave. It's called wavy. Okay. Next, Geng Gua. Geng Gua. This one, if you look at it, it's like a mountain. Okay, a mountain, right? So therefore, the secondary name is called a mountain. It can represent the third son or the younger son. And in terms of hierarchy ranking in the organization, remember, Geng Gua is the younger son. So therefore, any other support staff, it will be considered Geng Gua. Okay, Geng Gua energy, Geng Gua category. So general staff, support staff, anything that is for supporting one is security, like for example, security guard, okay, or stopping kind of function. That mean like a quality assurance or the kind of role to stop all the lousy practices, all the bad practices, or defective goods from going out of the production. All this stopping role is Geng Gua. So it is earth energy. Earth energy, mountain is earth energy. So therefore, anything that's relating to earth energy, for example, stomach, spleen, pancreas, breast, all these are Geng Gua energy. Okay, Geng Gua energy. And then Geng Gua can also represent hand. So anything to do with hand, fingers, okay, it's also Geng Gua. And Geng Gua can also represent the nose, the joint, the spine, and the shoulder. Color, yellow, beige, and brown. The shape, square. 天圆地方哈，天圆地方 means 天 means 乾卦 is round， 地 means 坤卦艮卦 which is square. So the shape of earth is square. So that is the second last one, and we go coming to the last one is called the 坤卦. 坤卦 means the earth energy means the mother, earth energy. So because 天圆地方嘛哈，地 is 方，方 means 四方，四方 means square. Okay, so because being earth energy, the color is also yellow, beige, brown, and it can represent stomach, spleen, pancreas, and breast. And we also know that Kun God represent employees, customers, and then employee can also mean HR. So if you're in a HR role, that means you are performing a Kun role, so to speak. So if you're in HR, then you know your Kun Gua must be good. Okay, must be good. So basically, this is all the 8 trigrams. Okay, all the 8 trigram and typical representation. Right? So are you all good with me? Still with me? Okay, so for those who want to know more about this universal profiling system, you can get this ebook. I think most of you has already gotten, but in case you have not get one and you want to get one, you can scan this QR code and then go and get the this ebook. Okay, which we are talking about the universal profiling system using the earlier 8 trigram. All right, any questions so far? If no question, basically, actually, I've come to the end of today's lesson, right? So I mean, today we are starting on the outer world, and this is just the basic fundamental portion that we need, everybody need to know before we can go in deeper.